My boyfriend cheated on me while I was having a miscarriage. My boyfriend M31 and I F26 were living together. I was going through a lot of stress at work and he also didn't seem happy, although he would always say that he was. I would cook, clean, and do what I could around the house without overexerting myself. I started to notice that he wouldn't look at me when I talked to him, he would just be glued to his phone. I was excited about the baby, so I didn't pay much attention to it. I went to appointments, some of which he didn't want to attend with me. I was constantly feeling stressed, anxious, and sad because I felt like something was wrong and he never reassured me that he was with me. When I went for my next ultrasound, they gave me the heartbreaking news that our baby didn't have a heartbeat. I was given 3 options and I couldn't decide on which because it broke me to learn that I was awaiting a miscarriage and I was scared. I ended up choosing the option where I would naturally go through it, as it was my way of feeling the baby was no longer with me. When I told my boyfriend the news, he looked as though he was relieved, which hurt me deeply. He then told me that maybe it was for the best, as he believed he would have been a bad father and partner and would have abandoned us. I was hurt, but he reassured me that it wasn't what he meant, he just meant it in a way to relieve my sadness. I ended up crying in the shower every night, trying not to show him how sad I was. A few weeks passed, and I still hadn't had the miscarriage. I held on to a little hope that I was still pregnant. But then one day, while out shopping, I started to bleed just slightly and went to the emergency room, where I was told I would miscarry very soon, they just didn't know when. We had a vacation coming up, and I was feeling somewhat up to going, as I had not fully miscarried yet. Then on the second day of the trip, I started to experience the worst pain of my life and couldn't stop crying. It was happening. I felt really bad because he couldn't hang out with his friends that night and expressed it to him. He stayed with me that night and I was just in the bathroom the whole night, barely got sleep. Then the next morning he left my side and told me he was leaving my car just in case I needed to go anywhere or to the emergency. I told him that I was in no condition to drive. I was alone, crying, and in a tremendous amount of pain, but to distract myself I decided to watch a movie on his iPad, and then when I was watching the movie a message popped up from his ex appeared. I clicked on it and saw messages of them flirting back and forth. I was heartbroken. I couldn't believe he would do this while I was experiencing a miscarriage and when we're together. I knew I couldn't be in a car ride with him while going through a miscarriage and seeing those messages, so I arranged to fly back with the help of my sister and got an Uber to take me to the airport. He arrived a day later by my car and I planned to break up with him at the end of the week to give myself some peace of mind. However, the next day curiosity got the better of me, and I read more of his messages. Then I saw a recent message where he expressed that he was sleeping with his ex. My heart shattered, and I felt disgusted. I just wanted to leave immediately. I tried to gather my things, but I ended up making a huge mess. I couldn't believe he would do something like this to me. I was going through a miscarriage and he was cheating on me with his ex. I finally got out of the house with my family's help. The next day I needed to get one last thing and I wanted to make sure he was home when I went over. And instead of me yelling at him, fighting him or asking him why, I decided to say, "Thank you for making me realize I'm worth more," and then I left. It felt good, but I won't lie, every day now it's still hard because I'm heartbroken and disbelief that I'm going through this miscarriage alone and that just happened to me by the man that I loved. But I wish him well and I myself am taking it day by day, hoping to find happiness one day. Too long didn't read, my boyfriend cheated on me while I was having a miscarriage. And it broke me.